In this video, we are going to discuss the linked list data structure and the iterative algorithm to calculate length of the linked list. I will give you a line-by-line simple explanation of all the code that we will be writing in this video. Watch this video till the end, as I will also show you visually how to construct logic while writing linked list algorithms. My name is Aditya Shenoy from BrainyThings, where I make programming simple and fun. YouTube statistics show that some of you who watch my videos are not subscribed to this channel. So if you end up liking this video, please consider subscribing. It is free and you can always change your mind in future. Before constructing the linked list class, we need to construct the node class. So I will create a class. I will name it as node. Inside this, I will define the constructor by defining the double underscore init function like this. And apart from self parameter, the node class constructor will have a data parameter so that we can set self.data to data. This data will be the data inside the node of the linked list. And as the linked list that we are considering is a single linked list, each node will have a next pointer. So we will set that self.next is none. We are setting this self.next to none initially, but after constructing the linked list, this next pointers will point to other node objects. So I will execute this cell and start writing the code for linked list class. So I will create a class. I will name it as linked list. Again, defining the constructor. And apart from self parameter, I'm adding an array of elements to add data inside the linked list. I have made a detailed video of how to insert nodes in the linked list. So if you're not sure how to insert nodes to a linked list, you can definitely check out that. I have linked that in the iCard above and in the description below. As we have already covered how to insert nodes in the linked list before, so in this code I will insert data inside the linked list in the constructor itself. So initially I will set self.head to none, and I will iterate for all elements in the array, and inside this for loop we will be inserting nodes at the beginning of the linked list. So to maintain the order of the data passed in the array, we need to traverse the array in reverse like this. So this slice operator means is indicating that we are traversing the array in a reverse order. So inside this we will construct a new node by calling the constructor of the node class that we have just created and passing the element. Then we will set new node.next is self.head, the current self.head, and after this self.head will become the new node. If you're not sure how these three lines work, you can definitely check out the detailed video in which I have explained all the boundary cases as well as non-boundary cases along with visualization and driving. So this is the constructor done, and I will be defining this string function, double underscore string function. This string function will help us to pass the linked list object directly inside the print function so that we can print the linked list directly and visualize the elements present in the linked list. So inside the string function, I will define a result that will be an empty list initially, and we need to traverse all the nodes in the linked list. So we need to start traversing by self.head. So node equal to self.head. While there are nodes in the linked list, we need to append to the result the string representation of node.data. And after we have processed the data of the node, we need to proceed with the next node. So we will set node equal to node.next like this. And after all the nodes are processed, like after the while loop, we need to return the string representation that will be arrow separated, and that will join all the elements that are present inside the result list. You will understand how this code works and how the result will look like once we start printing the linked list objects. Now, as we have done writing all the constructors for the node class, linked list class, and the utility function to print the linked list, now we can start writing the code for the length of the linked list. In this video, we are going to see how to write an iterative version of the length of the linked list. So I will define length iterative and a self parameter. We don't need any other parameters apart from self. Now we need to process the each and every nodes, and by processing I mean that if we process a node we need to increment a counter. It is as simple as that. So we will start by processing the self.head like this, and we need to keep a track of a counter. We will name it as result. We are initializing this to a 0 value because we have not processed any node yet, and the processing of the nodes will happen inside the while loop. So till when we need to loop our linked list while the node is not null. This is because once we reach the end of the linked list, the last pointer's next pointer will point to a none value. So we need to stop when the node becomes none. Till then, we will do node equal to node.next and do result plus equal to 1. That is, increment the result value by 1. So this is a simple processing of the node. That is, we are not doing anything with the node's data or anything, but we are just considering its not none value and incrementing the result. And after the while loop breaks, we need to return the result. These few lines of code covers all the boundary cases as well as non-boundary cases, because even if the initial linked list is empty, then also the result is initialized to 0 and it will not enter the while loop at all, because node, that is self.head, will point to a none value in case of empty linked list. And in the case of length of the linked list, empty linked list is the only boundary case. So we are good with all the boundary cases as well as non-boundary cases here. So let's visualize this to get a better understanding of how this code works. Each linked list will have a head pointer. So let's consider the boundary condition first, that is head points to a none value like this. And when the code starts, like we are calling the length iterative for this linked list, node, a variable, temporary variable node will be created that will point where self.head is pointing. So head is pointing to none, so node will point to none value, and a result will be initialized to 0. Simple. Now while condition will check while node should not be none for this to be true, but node is none already, so it will not enter the while loop at all and it will return the result, that is 0. And 0 result is correct because this current linked list has no nodes in it, because head is pointing to none value. So this boundary condition is correct over here. Now let's consider a linked list having one or more nodes. So in this example, let's consider two nodes, linked list with two nodes. So I will add two nodes with node 1, data 1 and data 2 like this. So we have a linked list of two nodes and the head pointer points to the first node in the linked list and the final node's next value points to a none value. So again the function will be called. So a node variable will be created that will initially point where self.head is pointing, that is to node 1, and a result variable will be initialized that will keep track of the current length of the linked list, and that will be initialized as 0. While condition will check while node is not none, so it will enter the while loop. Node is node.next, so this arrow will point over here, that is the next node, and the next line will state that result plus equal to 1, that is this result will be incremented by 1. Again while loop will check while node, yes, node is not none, node is node.next, so it will go over here and result will be incremented again by 1, so 2. Now again while node, but node is now pointing to a none value, so this condition will become false and it will exit out of the while loop and go over here, that is return result. Result is 2, so a result of 2 will be returned, and that is the correct answer because our original linked list is having two nodes in it. So as we have seen in the visualization, This code works for boundary cases as well as non-boundary cases. So we can execute this cell and write the actual code to construct the linked list, so we can see whether these cases work in Python as well. So I will create a object linked list and call the constructor of the linked list like this, and initially I will pass an empty list like this to check the boundary case of empty linked list. And first I will print the linked list like this, and then I will print the linked list's length by calling the length iterative function of this object. If we run this now, you can see a blank line over here. That indicates that the linked list passed in the print function is empty, and that is exactly what is happening over here. And the print function printing the length of the linked list is printing a 0 value, so that is correct. Now I will just copy these lines to test the non-boundary case. So I will add two elements over here and check whether the code is working now or not. Yes, the linked list is correctly being constructed, that is 1 arrow 2, and the linked list length is 2. We can check this for any number of nodes. So if I change this to 3, it will construct the linked list properly and change the length according to the list. So this is how you write the iterative code to find the length of the linked list. The time complexity of this version is linear, that is O of n, as we have to traverse the entire list in this code. The space complexity is constant, that is O of n for iterative code. Hence use iterative code unless you are asked specifically to write recursive code in an interview. If you ended up liking this video, please press that like button, comment any feedback that you have for this video or this channel, share this video with your friends. The code that I write in all my videos of this channel is available in my GitHub profile, whose link is in the description. You can connect to me via LinkedIn, whose link is again in the description. If you want to see a line-by-line simple explanation of data structures and algorithms like this, check out the playlist over here. If you want to learn Python built-in functions along with various Python features, tips, tricks, and real project examples, then check out the playlist over here. If you want to see a hands-on game development project, check out the playlist over here. And I will see you in the next video.